Shout out to Stunner Man and his brother.
Who's his brother? Gunna?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Gunna. Big Filmo in the building, per usual.
What up, y'all? I'm Russell North 415. It's the Corporate Thug Podcast. Special episode. I got Ben Illa and Gina Views in the motherfucking building. Oh my God, it's a moment right here, man. I appreciate y'all pulling up, for real, for real.
We are happy to be here. Well, I'm happy to be here.
You not gonna speak for both of y'all?
Like, let me not speak for both of us.
I don't know, Gina might not be happy to be here, man.
I'm happy to be here. Yeah. When you first hit me up, the first thing I said was, we gotta get in on this.
Yes, I appreciate y'all. And the first person you brought up was sis right here. You was like, yo, my homegirl from the Bay. You probably don't know her. I'm like, listen, dog. Listen, dog. This my people for real. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Gina.
And shout out to Shaka Streetwear, you know what I'm saying, for hosting us. We appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? I got my, you feel me? I'm taking this home. Send me the invoice if it's a problem. But I look too good to give it back, you feel me? But yeah, man, we're going to get right into it, man. I wanted to talk about, you know, West Coast culture, 2023, 2024, you know, a look back and a look forward. You know what I'm saying? So to get into it, got my little notes. I'm trying to be professional with the big dogs right here.
I definitely.
No, y'all do this shit all the time. So I got to make sure I'm ready to.
All them damn cards we ain't going to get to.
Oh, we ain't.
Shit. Watch
Start
me.
throwing them over your shoulder at this point. Like Bobby Shmurda with the hat. Fuck
the Bobby Shmurda shit was crazy. Infrastructure, though, from y'all perspective, the differences between Northern California and Southern California in the rap scene, hip hop scene?
That's a good question. I think NorCal is finally starting to have more of a corporate infrastructure, whereas it's been so indie based for years. Shout out to like Empire, because they, I think, are bringing that, they're trying to bridge that gap between major label and like homegrown talent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think they're doing a very, very good job.
I think Empire's a major now.
Yeah, I think they're doing a very good job at that, incorporating, making sure to keep the Bay Area incorporated in everything that they do, because they are a hometown, you know, corporation. But I think that's probably one of the biggest things.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I think it started with the media, as far as covering these artists.
True.
And covering, you know, their own. Because a lot of these media platforms that we do have on the West Coast, they're here, they exist, but you see these platforms and don't even realize they're West Coast platforms.
Right.
And that's because they're not covering the West Coast talent.
Yeah.
That's covering people from other regions.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, because that's crazy that you say that, because I literally just had this conversation with him the other day, because back on Fig, Greedo had said something along that line. Like, we don't really have anybody showcasing anything that's going on. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, we know the bigger names. We know the Thizzler. We know like the Young Californian. Yeah. And then there's more. Are there more? Do we know? We don't know. And that's why
that are focused on music. There are some.
That's what I'm saying. That's a great point that she brings up, though, because it's like, apparently there are, and we just don't know about them. So it's like, you got to actually drive that point home.
It's like you said, the mainstream ones. Like the big, we know about the bigger name ones.
Right.
But I think artists also have to do their job in supporting those lower or local platforms. And everybody wants to go for the big dog. Everybody's goal is to go straight to Breakfast Club.
Right.
You know, but it's like, it's other platforms or smaller platforms that you can be tapping in with that really need you.
Yeah. Right. And they're growing just like you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they'll support you damn near more than a bigger platform, because they're trying to build and grow with you and up their value. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like with Northern California, like we're almost independent to a fault at this point. Like, we were the innovators when it came to the independent hustle. Yeah. But like, now we're just so independent, we don't want no help. We don't want to partner with nobody. We don't want to, and I'm speaking in general.
Yeah.
And so it's like, for me, I think now it's like, we gotta be open to whether it's a distribution company, whether it's a marketing company, just accepting help from other resources.
Yeah, I think NorCal is starting to be more open. I see you and I raise you. I think that there's a lot of artists that I hear in NorCal that are not necessarily opposed to being helped. They just feel like they aren't getting help. They do feel like they want the help. They do feel like they would accept the help. They just don't feel like they're getting the looks from certain places, and then, you know, of course that leads to all the back and forth and the drama and everybody talking crazy towards each other, and that's cool too. But
all the Spider-Man memes, the pointing fingers and shit. It's always somebody else's fault. I hate that shit.
And so it's like, I think with that being said, you know, I think it's just important for NorCal artists to make sure that if you're asking for the help, be ready for the help when it comes. Take your time and understanding that there's always a certain amount of work that has to be put in by you before you're even looked at for to be helped, to be reached out to. And I think that probably is what we have a lot of trouble with, a lot of artists too, not just NorCal. I think that's like a general artist thing, like as even me myself being an artist, I know there's been years that I was just like, nobody cares, and it's like, girl, you ain't doing nothing, shut up, they don't even know what you're doing. So it's like, I think that's another thing that we have too. There's a lot of pride. You want the help. For sure. You're not ready.
But you only want it on your own terms too.
Yeah, you don't know where it's coming from. You feel like nobody's there, so you get mad, you shut down, and then you and then you get a bad rep for having an attitude. And it's like, it's just a hamster wheel that we're kind of on. But yeah.
Gina, with the LA scene, because from our perspective, right, like an LA nigga get a record and he signed like the next week. Like, how is the independent scene in LA compared to the Bay from your perspective? Because I don't see a bunch, from my perspective, I don't see a bunch of indie artists.
I feel like the majority of the artists here are independent.
Okay.
I think that we stand out so much just because we are the mecca of, you come here to, you know, for your dreams to come true.
That's
so
right.
everybody want to come to LA for their dreams to come true.
Right.
But the majority of our artists are independent.
Okay.
I feel like the people who do get those deals are the people who LA people would deem as they don't have the LA sound. Or those artists who do get these deals are people that everybody's just not paying attention to, and you don't even know these niggas from LA.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I feel like the majority of our artists are they independent.
See, that's a misconception from our perspective, then, because you know what I mean? Because we feel like y'all got all the labels out here, it's hella easier for y'all to get signed.
The people in these buildings half the time are not even from here.
No.
Yeah,
more than half the time.
I feel like that's everywhere. I feel like that's everywhere.
They're not from us. They don't understand our culture. They don't know our culture. They see somebody going viral on social media and say, "Oh, let me give them a deal," you know?
Right.
But no, our artists are struggling. Sorry, y'all. We all struggling rappers, to be real, but our artists are struggling right now.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think there's also a common misconception between like a label deal and a distro deal. I think
we had that conversation about Empire for a minute. I'm not gonna say too much, but having a distro deal with Empire is not a record deal with any company.
But a lot of artists are acting like they don't have any backing right now, and they do have distro.
Well, that's good marketing,
and that's what. That's
exactly good marketing.
But niggas is really playing right now like they don't have any record deals.
I did it by myself, no help.
No, they got distribution,
and it's like you cannot consider yourself.
Isn't that still indie though?
That's what I'm saying.
If you have a distro deal, I feel like you're still indie.
But you have backing.
You have some sort of backing, depending on what your exact deal is. What you have.
Because you can have distro
on.
with no support.
That's what I'm saying.
No
you can have distro with no support, but you can also be that kid down the block that just learned how to use TuneCore and uploaded your own shit.
Isn't that what happened with 310 Baby? Not to skip ahead, but like, didn't he just record his own song on his phone and shit, just uploaded and just started going crazy?
I'm sure that's 9 out of 10 of these breaking like records that we hear nowadays. It's somebody just fucking around and doing something and it catching, but then getting picked up and then getting moved along the ladder, moved up the ladder. But that's why I'm saying with the distro, I think that probably is our misconception of LA, is that we see artists with motion and we're thinking, oh, that must be Universal. Oh, that must be this. Oh, that must be that. And it's like, no, that's a distro.
Yeah.
Or that's TuneCore, or that's STEM. You know, there's all these different places.
Or they
that
just
you can
popular.
Do. Yeah, that too.
They just popular.
And
it look like they got motion, and it's like, that motion gonna burn out.
Yeah.
In about 9 months.
And I think that's another big thing too, consistency.
Yes.
Because a lot of artists luck up on that one hit and they don't have nothing to come right behind it with. Like, you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate because they're very talented. They're very talented, but some people weren't ready for it. It just happened. That's why it's important to have a team. That's why it's important to have a rollout. You can be great at making music, but if there's no plan of action,
structure, all of that shit, you
end up kind of falling out and falling off without even realizing that it happened that fast. So that's what I think California artists all NorCal, SoCal, everybody. We all get wrapped up in that because you get that one little hit that pops off
and you
real
think
quick.
it's gonna last forever.
Yeah. And it may last a very long time, but unfortunately right now we're living in a time where
talk about it.
The turnover rate is crazy.
It's a new artist
there's so
every
much
week.
Music coming out, you can't absorb all this shit.
We were talking about this before.
Yeah, you're going boom, 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 and so you think you got a little more time than you do, but you gotta jab them right behind, right after that.
But I think they do have time. It just depends on what the business behind you is. Look how long Blueface been performing Tatiana.
True.
We in 2023, he got other stuff behind him though. He got the show, he got his artists. You know?
Not having one thing. That's infrastructure.
You have to have
business wise.
You got to have multiple situations and things going on. He got what is it?
The shows.
Like he got deals and stuff with sponsors and things like that. You know, he had different stuff that's behind him. You can't just have the music and think like, oh, I'm going to have the music. I'm going to perform this music, or you know, you have to have other stuff that's going to keep the music going. Every day is a rollout.
Yeah. For sure.
Everything is a rollout.
Everything's a rollout.
Talk about it. That's facts.
Everything's a rollout.
No, that's super important.
I feel like he was an anomaly though. I think Tatiana was his mainstream breakout hit, but it was not his breakout hit.
He's still touring. No, that's right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
that's right.
When he had
the YG feature, he had the Cardi B feature. Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I'm talking about
Cardi B feature was huge.
Cardi B. She said had his breath smelling like pussy and mimosas.
She did.
Man.
Mamiana. You feel me?
And then remember everybody was rapping over that.
I'm a mother. Like
everybody was rapping over the Tatiana beat. But it's still like more business and stuff that you have to have behind it. Jade and Alexis hit is going crazy right now because everybody's using it on TikTok.
Right.
310 Baby is going crazy right now because everybody's using it. You know? So you have to have other stuff and business behind. You can't just drop the music and like, all right, that's it.
The work, it's like the work don't stop after you got a hit. That's when the work really starts. You got to start going crazier. Get back in the booth. Make sure you got the publicist or whatever else in place. Start getting the shows together so that you can actually have a career out of it, not just a 1 year, 2 year run.
But it's these people, it's the kids that are like getting these instant hits out of nowhere.
Yeah. I think it's a gift and a curse.
Those are the ones that are having the biggest struggle with it because it's like, now what? Now what do I do? Oh shit, I gotta do this again. Okay, hold on, and let me hurry up and do it. And then by the time you even get to the point, most artists, there are some that can crank out hit after hit after hit, but it's try and fail. You may not get that other hit till 50 songs later, 10 songs later, and that doesn't mean 10 releases later. That means 10 recording sessions later.
Yeah.
And so you might not even get to the point where you get that next hit in time.
Yeah. Wow.
Because there's not a buildup.
But tell me this. So if I'm a new artist and I have no knowledge of the game, I have no knowledge of the music industry, is that my fault or is that my team's fault? At the end of the day, you're the artist.
If you have a team, if you have a team though.
But if you get a hit and you get some type of situation in the label, somebody is backing you.
That's when they should back you up. And that's the problem. That's where I'm saying some of them aren't even getting picked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I know there was an artist that everybody was very frustrated about because he had a hit and everybody was just like, what is going on? We waiting for what's next. I think it was Kato. And everybody was just like,
that's a few artists back home.
Yeah,
though. It wasn't just, you know what I mean?
And everybody
and
was
Kato's
like,
super talented. Shout out to him, by the way. Like, he's insanely talented.
That's my point. And it's like everybody was just like, okay, let's go. And I just remember everybody was hearing hella rumors about like what was going on with his situation and stuff like that. And everybody was just like, damn, what do we do to get him there? Like, everybody was just like, he gotta go. Like, we gotta get him up there.
Yeah,
like, we gotta boost him up because this song is cracking right now. Like, what?
But like
now?
the way the industry is set up, though, it's crazy because they tell you to keep working that one record.
Yeah.
That's the industry model. Keep working this record, and push it as far as you can.
Yeah.
The model isn't, all right, you got this record, keep working it, but go make sure you have another hit. They don't tell you that part. So to answer your question, Gina, from my perspective, I also think it's at the end of the day, it's the artist's responsibility to do the knowledge and research what it is and how it is as far as how the business works. You need to know what producers need to get paid, what a manager, if you were trying to have one, what they're supposed to get paid. A lot of us went into the game, myself included, not knowing what the fuck my role was when I was a songwriter. Like, I didn't know what I just knew that I could write.
Let me find out you writing for niggas.
Man, Illa, tell this nigga. Anyway, we ain't even gonna, you know what I'm saying?
He was a Oh, you ain't leaving out here.
Yeah, nah, hold on, man. To stay on topic.
I'm sitting here with 2 artists.
Don't even worry about it.
And I make niggas rap. What y'all think y'all
Listen. We not finna get sidetracked.
He's retired, but
yeah, man. I used to write for Pimps and Dope Boys. You know what I'm saying?
Back in his day.
Allegedly back in the day. But no, I
shout
think that it's an artist's responsibility to do the research before they get in the game. Before you press upload on whatever platform, DistroKid or whatever, do some type of research so you know, hey, what are the splits supposed to be? What is the producer supposed to get? What are my rights as an artist? It can't just be I'm taking something off of YouTube, pressing upload, fuck that producer, I don't want to pay him. A lot of motherfuckers go into it and they have this sense of entitlement, not just artists, just people in general, and they don't ask questions. It's just I need to get paid, and they get that hit and they're like, yo, I need $2,500 for a show or an X, Y, and Z. And it's like, bro, it's so much more that goes into it before you're able to run it, before you should be trying to run up a bag. Like, get the information first. So I think that's super important for not just NorCal artists, but all artists. Like,
in general,
research, ask questions. If you don't have a big homie that you can say, hey, bro, like, how can I do this? Dog, the internet is right there.
Well, now you can ask Chat GPT.
For sure.
Cause I
and you can go, you feel me? Like Wi-Fi free at some of these little coffee shops, you feel me? You can go there and just set up.
What do I need to put in this pasta?
Dog, I just read a resume on ChatGPT.
How do you make a pizza from
Let me find out you doing chicken Alfredo on the ChatGPT.
Oh, I'm an internet baby for sure.
That shit is hilarious,
Oh my
bro.
God.
I can't stand you. Why would you?
She's sick. Not for the chicken Alfredo.
ChatGPT for recipes is crazy.
Nah, that's wild.
Yeah, you definitely can though.
What was I finna say? So just in terms of infrastructure, right? We're talking about the comment that O3 made.
Yeah.
About collabing. Now, do you think that enough artists in Northern California and Southern California are collaborating? Do you see enough of it? Would you like to see more of it? What are y'all thoughts on just the relationship between Northern California and Southern California?
I think it takes someone to contact someone to get something done.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's literally simple AF. Yeah. It's very simple. The way we see Tiger and YG go over there and collab with people, the way, because YG and Mozzie done, you know, so I just literally think that it just takes somebody to contact the next person to get it done. I don't think that it's hard. I don't think that it's any crazy formula to it. Just freaking do it. But I think that what could be the issue is just lack of knowledge and not knowing who exists on each side. So it's so many freaking artists. This shit is really diluted if we being, you know, honest. But there are a lack of collaborations, but I don't think it's hard to get the collaborations done.
What do you think, Ella?
I think the same. I think that some artists do well. Some artists do well with it. Like you see, you know, like DB will come down here and do stuff with people. You'll see like Ralphie will come up there and do stuff with people. You know, I think it's the same. The major players all are tapped in with each other and in tune with each other. And
everybody follows each other.
Despite politics, aside from politics, everybody will work how they need to work together. But I think for the up and coming artists, that's where it gets a little tricky because they're like, you know, a little more hesitant to want to reach out, or they might, you know, the bigger artists might feel like they not, you know, cracking enough or big enough, not really know them yet. But I think all we got to do is slide right up and down that 5. You know what I'm saying?
That's a little 5-hour drive.
That's just such an easy call, like, you know, and it's not like they don't do that anyway, just for fun. So it's like, just tap in with a couple people while you're where you're at and just get it done. Because it happens, but it's mostly the major players. The major players all will link with each other and be cool with each other. But I would love to see it happening with some of those people pulling in some of the newer.
I was going to say, because I love the way Draco, rest in peace, was doing it when he was alive. He was tapping in with the young niggas. Like, I don't think that any artist, no disrespect to anybody on the West Coast, I don't think any of us have a big enough platform on our own. You know, I feel like in order to have the impact, we're always comparing ourselves to other regions, other markets or whatever. Now, collectively, I think we have big enough platforms.
For sure.
But it's like, if you over there and I'm over here, even if we don't have records together, doing shows together or doing like little meet and greets or whatever, I feel like, you know, I'd love to see more artists creating moments and just focusing on that as opposed to, well, I'm popping, I don't need nobody. So I do think to y'all point, like, yes, there is collaborations. I think it's happening, but I don't think it's happening enough.
But we have to start closer too, though, because our artists not collabing with each other like that. Artists collabing and fucking with each other. I
just seen Bravo bring out hella niggas to his show, bro. He just had hella people.
That just started though.
Yeah.
Like, I would say, and Chrissy, correct me if I'm wrong, but people working together and shit in LA didn't start until like 2014, 2000, like with Joe Moses, YG, Nipsey, and all of them tapping in with each other. Niggas been at odds for a long time.
See, their politics are different than ours, so we don't know how that shit work. It's
can't expect a nigga to hop on a 5 and drive 5 hours if he can't even. You feel me? With people that's because we got so many politics and stuff like that. So I think that mindset and that culture, it's embedded in you because of what you're dealing with at home.
Yeah.
You know,
and the same can be said for back home, but
yeah. I just went to well, not just, but I want to say it was so Joe Moses had a show, Joe Moses and Friends, and he brought out hella people. RJ, Wally the Sensei, Savvy Third. He brought all these freaking people out. I went to a Jason Cash show. He brought a hella people out. So you do see that there are collaborations and things like that, but it just got cool to collaborate. It just got cool to fuck with your neighbor.
Which is trash, bro. We need more of that shit. But Northern California, damn near the same.
Northern California,
we split in half like a motherfucker, dog. I don't like that shit.
I would say that, but I wouldn't say that because I feel like people in NorCal, like in the Bay specifically, they collab. Everybody has their politics though, and they don't fuck with who they don't fuck with. But that don't mean that nobody fucks with nobody. You get what I'm saying? Like she's saying like, okay, yeah, you know, like that's how it was, and it's not like that anymore because everybody just wasn't fucking with everybody. Like, no, you'll get the artists that'll collab where they're from. You'll get the artists that'll all fuck with each other, but we just don't necessarily like. There's drama amongst all the different sections. So like in Stockton, they got all they shit going on. In Sac, they got all they shit going on.
Shit going on.
You know what I'm saying? And it's some shit going on. You know
it is some shit going on, man.
You know, and so it's like with that being said, it's like they will all stick together and stick with each other, and then they'll go fuck with who they fuck with, as opposed to not just being like, we over here, like we ain't doing nothing with nobody. Like, no, we're gonna go fuck with the side that we fuck with, and we're gonna make great music together. And then they do that. Everybody does that. Oakland does that. The city does that. Richmond does that.
The city does that for sure.
City for sure does that.
Like, and they got hitters in the city right now. There's so much talent, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
there's
so much stuff going on, but I think it's like I said, it's very important to note that with us, there's always been collaboration in the Bay Area. There's always been collaboration.
I mean, the biggest things that have come out of the Bay have been movements.
Right. That's
HBK,
where you get
all of that shit. Yeah,
EBK. You get, you know, all the Mozzie and all them. Like everybody's
Thiz way before that, all of that shit, you know?
It's like all of that is just very important to note that I don't think the Bay is scared to work with each other. I think the Bay is just persnickety, and we fuck with who we fuck with, and we don't fuck with who we don't fuck with.
Yeah.
As far as keeping it in house, and that's the Bay, Sac, Stockton, all that, you know?
Yeah.
I think we're getting to a better space though, because if you think about it, when the last time you really heard of this song?
Every fucking day.
Northern
California. What the fuck is you talking about? It's a diss song. Every song a diss song where I'm from. What the fuck is you talking about?
Let me tell you.
Every song is a diss song.
When I tell you these
well, we're growing.
Yeah. Y'all are mature.
We're growing.
Yeah, nigga.
Where we at?
We immature as shit.
Drop a diss song about a nigga on his birthday and get it posted on the blogs. So that's how that works. Welcome to NorCal.
I'm so sorry to hear that, child.
And niggas is getting like sharper with the diss songs too. You feel me? Like you gotta like know that it's a diss. You know what I'm saying? Like you got that nigga he in jail with it. Like shit. Like,
and it's like
how'd you know about that?
Yeah. You gotta run it back and realize like this is not a poem. This is about somebody.
Yeah. I want to talk about the relationships between DJs and artists.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I know. So I feel like there's a disconnect. When I talk to DJs, they tell me, yo, artists aren't sending us clean versions of records. They're not sending us DJ packs. When I talk to artists, they're like, well, ain't no DJs tapped in with me, bro. Like, So what is y'all perspectives on, at least from the West Coast, the DJ-artist relationship, and what should we be working towards in 2024?
Our DJs aren't playing our artists in the clubs.
Is it because the artists aren't making the music, or is it just because they're not playing
The artists are making music. I don't think the artists are making club songs.
Yeah.
So we haven't got any really. Shout out to Leaky. Leaky he dropped his song "Go Leaky." That could go.
I heard Lil Veda though. I heard Lil Veda out here.
310 Baby, Lil Veda. Yeah. One Take Jake was notorious for that. Joe Moses just definitely dropped. He dropped the club song.
One Take Jake is great when it comes to some party shit.
But we're just now getting back into being outside and dropping outside music.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like a lot of artists are not tapping into the females because we are the tastemakers.
Talk about it.
So if I'm not shaking my ass to it, then you really don't need to drop. I mean, I wouldn't be shaking my ass, but
I hear you.
You would.
But the females like the gangster shit too, though.
She would. But the gangster shit, we ain't playing that in the club for real. You know, so the DJs is in the clubs. The DJ job is to get this motherfucker jumping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you have to drop some. If the niggas in Detroit is dropping the club bangers, and we gonna play that into the club because you ain't about to get me fired. They gonna say such and such don't know what he's spinning. He's spinning some bullshit. You know. Yeah. So I think we have to get back to making more club bangers.
Yeah.
I think niggas have to like know what a club banger is. Niggas don't even be in the club to know what gets played in the club. Niggas don't even be in the functions to know what function music is.
Our party scene is not that big either anymore too. So that's the other part to it.
I mean, y'all got something going on every fucking day out here though.
Who? What you be on though? What's going on today in LA?
Nah. I tap in DJ
Nigga,
Crystal.
We ain't going to that shit.
You hella funny. DJ Crystal, what's it called? What's some OG shit? The Now Bar out there. What's my nigga name?
In Inglewood. That's in Inglewood, right?
Yeah, Quest, Bang, my nigga Bang. Shout out to Bang over at BPM Supreme. He's doing a lot of dope shit. DJ Artistic, he having some cool functions out there. DJ Honeycutt before she moved. DJ Fawcett, Rose God.
Where they at though?
Yeah.
All over the place. Rose God doing shit anyway. She doing shit at fucking warehouse parties. She's doing shit at the bougie little hotel, private members only shit. Yeah. So some of it's like club stuff, but some of it's lounge shit. You know what I'm saying? But she's playing. Like I walked up one time, but she didn't even know I was in the building yet. She was playing Capolo.
What I think are lit right now are these hookah lounges.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing RJ perform and host a lot of hookah lounges. The hookah lounges is cracking because that's where the bitches at.
Yeah.
Why do women? I can't say the bitches because why do bitches love hookah?
I don't know. I don't fuck with hookah.
You not bitches.
I don't really like Black and Mouse.
I'm bitches. I fuck with
hookah is Black and Mouse to me.
I don't fuck with Black and Mouse. God bless you,
bro. Hookah is a Black and Mouse, but that's where the women. It is.
I'm here for but I'm gonna keep.
Nah, you part of Newport culture. Don't do that.
I'm coming along with you.
Basically smoking a cigarette.
I'm listening to you. This is crazy. I'm being enlightened right now.
Wait a second. Black and Mouse.
I'm a
listen,
bro. Hookah is cigarettes and Black and Mouse
for sure.
Just with a little
razzle dazzle.
I'm here for it. You got
a little razzle dazzle.
The water and the ice. Yeah, I feel it. I'm not,
They done sprayed a little Bath and Body Works flavor on that motherfucker.
Yeah, a little grape. Put a little grape on something. A little mint. Why they love the mint? Why they love the mint?
The mint is
strawberry.
I like the mint because
that's because you smoke menthols, but that's another.
No, I do not. Okay. I'm saying
you got a pack of Newports in you anyway.
Wow, the slander is crazy.
Talking shit.
A pack of Newports in a cart.
I know I'm a hood rat, but goddamn, I just got a lot of rings on my fingers and these nails.
That's it. My bad.
But nah, I think it's fun. I think it's cool. It's a little escape. Gives you a little light head.
You talking about
there was a time where every Friday, shout out to Twan, LJ, Damo, and Rilo, they used to throw this thing called the circus.
DJ Damo?
Okay,
I thought the female DJ. Okay.
They used to throw this thing called the circus, and it was cracking. The whole LA would show up. Fast forward, we got what do Twan got right now?
Scoreboard down here.
Huh?
I said, and y'all got the Juneteenth festival is huge out here. That Black on the Block shit, y'all got. So from our perspective, y'all got shit. That's all.
We have stuff, but who's on at Juneteenth really listening to music? You know, I mean, niggas start running when Wale was performing.
That's perspective. That's perspective because we have a Juneteenth festival that people specifically go to for the music.
Yeah.
Like Hyro Day, Juneteenth, all that stuff. We go specifically for the music.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim House, man.
Yeah,
Hyro
shout
Day,
out to
man.
Tim House. Tim House is definitely a foundational factor in the Bay Area.
Big legend out there.
Many artists that would not be here without him.
Yeah.
But
shout out to the OG.
I think that for that last question though, what's crazy is I think that the difference is SoCal, LA specifically, y'all have such a huge club culture that it is harder for them to get played in their hometowns because you're going to Playhouse, you're going to Penthouse, you're going to Hollywood.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not necessarily, well, Playhouse is gone now, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you're going to these real clubs that are like real clubs. It's harder to break there. Whereas like at home, you will go to the club in Oakland and hear an Oakland artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, versus us, our in the Bay, our issue, well, NorCal, our issue is
the DJ thing is different. For
our
sure.
DJ thing is not, we don't have an issue with the DJs in the clubs. We have issues with the DJs on the radio. That's where the disconnect comes. Yeah. And so it's like, if you go to Oakland, you're gonna hear Oakland artists, you're gonna hear San Francisco artists, you're gonna hear Sacramento artists. Like, I remember it was a whole point in time where you only hear SOB, RBE in the club. You know what I'm saying? But we also have hometown DJs that are very invested in that. Like, shout out Drew Banga, shout out Mill,
Shellheart,
all of them, Shellheart, Dage, all of them are specifically making sure, you know, and they have like a collective too. They're making sure to push the culture forward. Shout out Papa for Slim,
all the home team
shout
niggas.
out to all of them. They're pushing that culture forward by specifically making sure to stay, you know, dedicated to being for the city, for the hood, by the hood. Like, whereas the artists in the Bay feel like they're having a disconnect with getting on the radio. They'll hear themselves in the cars going down the street. They'll hear themselves in the clubs, you know. Also, too, y'all have that too. We have big car culture.
Crazy car culture where we from, dog.
The old schools,
you can be popping outside and not getting no type of play anywhere else.
The niggas driving down the street in the old schools are some of the best A&Rs in the Bay.
Talk about it.
Because you're like, what is that? What are you listening to? And y'all have that too. But I feel like ours is more so like they feel the disconnect with trying to get to the radio. How do I get on the radio? Because I'm in the clubs, everybody's listening to my shit. I'm walking up to these radio DJs and saying, what do you mean you don't know who I am? Everybody in the Bay knows who I am, and they're like, nah, little nigga, work harder.
Yeah, niggas don't be sold. What I will say is Hella Erie has done a lot.
For sure.
Hella Erie is somebody who on KML who's done a lot as far as like tapping in with artists.
100%.
He'll hit me for fucking clean versions.
Yeah.
But again, that's like a small window. That's hometown. That's too. Like Mike for sure. But it's like in terms of getting consistent radio play, it's very difficult. I also don't think radio is as important as it used to be. So I think the niggas don't really be caring. But I do think in general, like, artists need to make sure they got DJ packs. Like when you're getting your songs mixed and mastered, ask for a clean version.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's, I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, because do you feel like it's too much to ask of an artist, of a DJ to just clean the record up themselves? Because I don't. I've sat there and
I don't think it's too much. Cause Hella Erie's done that for me. I've sent him records and he's like, yo, you got the clean? Actually, you know what? I got you, bro. Don't.
Yeah.
But it's not his job.
It's not. But
it's possible. Yeah, you could do it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a give and take. At some point, DJs are going to have to, like, come off the high horse a little bit, too. Just like we're expecting.
Well, they do have a certain level of responsibility to the culture.
Yeah, and just like we're expecting the artists to come down. Like, you got to think about it. As an artist, you're expected to carry around a flash drive with your shit on it at all times. You're expected to go up and, like, in your mind, you being hoed. Like, I gotta go beg somebody to do something for me. I gotta do this. I gotta do that.
I gotta market myself. I gotta promote myself. So it's like, all of that shit.
Man, if we're trying to push the culture forward, is it too much to ask that a DJ might just take a clean version?
Clean your own music. Period. You recorded that motherfucker crazy like that. When in that same session, clean it up. Yeah. If you know that this is about to be a single that you want radio play on and stuff like that.
I think it's situational.
Clean it up. It is very situational.
It's situational because most artists don't actually know. Now, if it's an artist who has some experience, don't have that experience,
clean all of it.
You hella funny.
Just clean it.
Be like Will Smith and just don't curse.
Yeah, or that.
I'm Bari. Shout out to Bari.
Shout out to Bari, real city nigga.
That's imagine me asking a I don't know, imagine me looking for a sponsor, and there's a representative that I would talk to in order
asking them to do their pitch deck for you.
And asking them to make my pitch deck.
Hell nah.
But I gotta give you everything.
But this is the world that we living in right now. This has nothing to do with music, but I'm gonna fuck around and flip it. This is just like the conversation that we've been having as women lately about am I really supposed to come to the salon with my hair washed and blow dried? No. I want to get my hair washed, but
I'm gonna step away from this part of the conversation.
It's a great part. It's a great concept though, because it's like if it's a stylist that we really want to get our hair done by, and we really know she fired, I'm gonna wash and blow dry.
But let me tell you what the difference
wash and blow dry.
What that is. I'm not the hairdresser. Bitch, you went to school. This is where your expertise is.
Right.
You supposed to wash my hair. You should never trust that the client that cleans their hair the correct way. You should never trust that. You're the artist. So if you're the artist, clean that shit up.
Yeah.
That's your profession.
And
but
also,
that's the DJ's profession too.
Also engineers. How about that? The engineers.
I think that's an even better.
Y'all know.
That's
y'all know. Maybe the artists don't know, but y'all know.
Yeah. We yelling at the wrong people. We yelling at the
engineers and the producers.
It's the artists.
Yeah. Hey, dog, tell that nigga, bro. Hey, bro, for an extra $50, I'm gonna do clean versions of all your shit.
$50. That's
so you're not trying to pay
$50.
That should come with the session.
Dog. It's a session. It's an hour. It's however long.
I mean, yeah, it is.
Whatever the dollar amount is. You know what I'm saying? The engineers should be doing that.
Cuss words in my
whoever put the final touches on the song.
The mix and master.
Yeah.
Because the artist just gonna give it back to them. The artist's not gonna physically clean it themselves. They're gonna give
because
it to
the DJs need DJ packs. They need cleans. They're not always going to be in the club. They might be doing a bar mitzvah or a fucking wedding or something like that. You got to give the DJs music for the situations that they're in. The other thing too is when we're talking about the club shit, we can't expect the DJ to play records in the club if you're not giving club songs. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
You know, so it's like you got to make music that fits.
That's also regional. That's very much regional because I feel like songs that would be getting played in Oakland clubs can't make it to LA clubs. And I feel like songs that are getting played in Atlanta clubs, or like there might be an LA artist that is getting played. Like perfect example, Lil Veda. They probably could play some Veda in Atlanta at a strip club, specifically in Atlanta at a strip club. But it's a regional sound, so it's cracking out here to us, but I feel like it may not get run over there, which sucks, because it's great music.
Lil Veda got a cheat code, though.
He do.
Lil Veda got a cheat code. He gonna go up wherever the fuck he plays.
And that's why I said it's
sample
regional.
Music.
Yeah. And that's why I said it's very, and it's always like, it's that fast speed.
Yes.
We dance
Tempo,
faster out here. You know what I'm saying? They stand in the club and they be tight. Out here, we dance still.
But I've heard records from the Bay, Capolo, for example, with Drip. You know what I'm saying? That record was getting played out here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's possible artists from Northern California are able to make music that translates to the club scene out here.
And it goes up and down. Like I said, we still
it's vertical and not horizontal.
California,
though.
exactly.
Yeah.
We stuck one up and down this 5.
That's how the show shit is too.
Yeah.
Like
we stuck
niggas
one
is
up
going
and
up
down
and
this
down.
5 and to Detroit.
Right. But in
Detroit
terms
niggas listen to
in terms of being able to network or get your music horizontal to other parts of the map, Florida, or whatever the fuck else,
we
it's
can't
difficult.
break past Arizona. If even
why is that? That wasn't one of the topics, but why is that? Do you think?
I think that's, like I said, we are very much niche sound. LA, the Bay, all of California, we make very niche sounding music, and only certain people can break out of that and get past that.
I mean, I feel like Atlanta's music is and was niche, but it's just accepted. But like Detroit's, I feel like there's a lot of niche. It's a lot of niche records and music right now,
and that it stays where they're at. I'm sure Detroit niggas have these same conversations that we're having, or Michigan, period, because there's Flint, there's Detroit, there's both. I'm sure they have these same conversations as we do, because they don't know who's listening to them outside. You get breakout records just like we do. Peasy had a breakout record in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Babyface Ray, breakout record.
Love Babyface Ray.
You know, Sada Baby, breakout records. And it's like, but aside from those, we get those little hits here and there out here too. But it's like we are all very regional, and I feel like, you know, the country, the world looks at, you know, New York style, Atlanta style, Southern style, East Coast style as like the commercially marketable mainstream rap, and they're not really trying to step out and hear what we have to say, and that sucks.
Maybe it's just not our turn right now.
I agree with that too,
because we ran this shit up for a long time.
Yeah, LA did for sure.
And maybe it's just their turn.
Yeah, but who is they?
Right now,
everybody but us. I ain't with that.
Right now, the East Coast.
Fuck
I feel like right now it's the East Coast.
Yeah, because I feel like the Atlanta shit is starting to die out.
Yeah.
Florida going crazy.
Florida.
I mean, Rod Wave is going up, bro. Florida got artists, bro.
Now that's where I didn't know Rod Wave was from Florida.
I didn't know that either.
Really?
Yeah.
That nigga going crazy.
But again,
because he's not from Miami. That's why.
What I'm saying. Again, once you get mainstream, it kind of gets muddled, and you sometimes don't know where that person is.
Yeah, we're having that same conversation about Sweetie, you're like, Doug, she's just a star now. She's not just from Sacramento. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That makes sense. I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I think. Just in terms of the DJ conversation, I'd love to see people stop finger pointing and just communicate and connect. For sure. And you know what? If you want a DJ to play your records, be prepared. Have the fucking clean versions ready. If you don't have somebody on your team that's reaching out and sending records for you, pull up to that nigga's fucking party or show. Support the DJs the way that you want them to support you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But somebody has to take the first step, and we can't be waiting for the other person to do it first. You know what I'm saying? So, I think we all have a level of responsibility, whether it's the engineer, the DJ, or anybody else. I feel that. Okay.
So fun.
Okay. So we were talking about expectations from like the DJ perspective. What do y'all feel are or should be expected from the media platforms and the blogs? So much. I really want to talk to you about this one, Ella, but I want to hear from both of y'all. Artists feel like they should get promoted on certain platforms for free. They feel like they're slept on. What do y'all say to that? And what's your perspective on expectations from like media pages or just in general?
I feel like media is getting harder. Reason being is because, like I said earlier, there's an influx of just so much content at all times. Somebody's gonna fall under the radar. Mm-hmm. Like somebody's gonna get skipped over, somebody's gonna get missed, and so it's unfortunate, but again, it's definitely up to the artist to make sure that it's quality content, it's quality product, it's quality music. Like, you have to make yourself stand out so much so that you're undeniable. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, when it comes to media, there's just so much that we have to cover all the time on a daily basis. That's what stands out.
Stuff gets missed, yeah.
And so I feel like there needs to be more platforms. I feel like, we have the same couple that we are all looking at and watching all the time, and that's no shade to those platforms, but it's just definitely, there's strength in numbers. If there are more platforms, then we can, again, back into that like niche conversation, then we can start like narrowing it down to like who goes on what platform. Exactly. Because right now it's so big and broad, and it's like with a Thizzler. Mm-hmm. People are always complaining, you guys only have rappers, you don't have this. Well, it's Thizzler. You might not get to the R&B section of Thizzler.
It would be great, but that's not what rappers. We do, right?
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it's important. The responsibility that media has is to definitely like start narrowing it down and creating more outlets that are like more centralized to make it easier to start dividing this content out, so that it's not one big conglomerate or two big conglomerates that have to sift through all of this stuff all the time. Yeah. Because it's not going to happen. You're not going to get to it.
Yeah.
So.
I think we got enough media platforms.
Y'all got hella out here.
I don't want to see another rap show.
Y'all got hella platforms in LA. In terms of infrastructure, that's something that we didn't mention as a big difference. Yeah. There are a lot of platforms out here.
Yeah. I don't want to see another podcast. Yeah. I don't want to see another one. Yeah. But I think, like I said earlier, media has a job and the artists have a job. Media has a job to support the artists, and artists have a job to support the media, so that we can all move up together. Mm-hmm. I feel like media is the new marketing tool that's more important now versus initially, like how you just said earlier, radio is not as important as it used to be. Right. Now it's media. Nicki Minaj just
way
went
more
on
important than radio now. For sure.
Nicki Minaj just did Kai Cenat. That's Nicki.
Right.
Nicki's streaming.
Yeah.
The queen.
Yeah. Like with Kai Cenat.
It's big.
She didn't go up to the Breakfast Club.
I was about to say she didn't.
She did sit down with Ebro though.
Yeah.
But
that's Apple Music though. You got to sit down with Ebro.
But again,
yeah. But
that's still streaming.
That's more traditional media. Yeah. What we're seeing now, the new stuff coming out, that's not traditional media. That's the things that the pioneers of this media game were frowned upon. Like, you know, y'all sitting here in front of a stream shaking your ass for 4 hours and they're corny. Chatting. Yeah. They're chatting and you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
that was viewed as corny. For sure.
So, and then look at even all the people that he brought through, you know, like he done over time, he done brought through some great acts. Yeah. But there's a new way of media and I feel like we're all learning as it goes on. For sure. None of us know where this shit is headed.
This is still very, very new, for sure.
Yeah. Nope, none of us knows. But I feel like media needs to be, and I don't know if it probably already is, but it needs to be a part of a marketing budget because it 100%. Is like the new radio. All these times that y'all see media, I worked for a huge platform where they was paying the platform to post their music. There's no media out here, well, I don't know. I can't speak for y'all, but the majority of these media platforms are getting paid to post this music. Yeah. They're not just reporting on the music just because they want, but because such and such is
y'all got to understand advertising with this shit, man. Y'all really just be thinking that just shit's getting posted just to get posted. Some stuff is getting posted because of engagement. Other shit's getting posted because of a payment, nigga.
But let's be real. The stuff that's doing well, that keeps these media pages active and alive, is the drama.
For sure.
It's the drama that's keeping the pages alive.
And engagement is everything, for sure.
So if academics is not posting, you know, what's going on and happening in pop culture, then the page not going to do well when you post a album that just came out.
And having a dope song ain't always enough to create engagement on a platform. And niggas be like, I'm dope, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, yeah, but you haven't done anything to make yourself marketable or interesting. And maybe that's not, maybe artists don't know how to do that, but it's still an important part of being an artist and getting featured on these platforms. And also knowing, and it kind of to your point, Illa, knowing the type of music and the type of artists that get posted on these platforms. You know what I'm saying? With Dizzler, like a lot of people want Dizzler to be everything for Northern California. And it's like, one, I don't think Dizzler asked for that, but two, it's like, you know, are you making the type of music? Are you that type of artist? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's fair. But I do think that in Northern California, we for sure need more platforms. 100%.
I 100% agree with that. And then I think the other thing too that's happening right now is social media, not just media, social media. You know, it's been joked and said a million times, but I will just go ahead and say it. Like TikTok is the biggest A&R in the world right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so it's like we've all managed to, like, we're at a different place now where there's a different set of requirements. Like there's a whole different rollout. There's a whole different marketing strategy. Like back in the days, niggas was saving up money to buy billboards.
Shit, niggas was saving that money to shoot a video.
That's
one video
saying.
Cost $5 bands.
That's fine. Maybe you need to go take that money you was gonna get on a billboard and pay 12 girls to make a dancing video to your song and make the song crack off. Facts. You know, like this is where it's like things are just different, things are changing. And it's like I have these conversations with artists from home all the time. Like the song is great. The song is great. And then on the other hand, you also are doing great on social media just as a human being. Find a way to make them clash. Find a way to take those two things and push them forward and make it work. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be your own marketing if you're finding a way to segue the two between each other. And I feel like that then comes, once that happens, then you get to regular media, then you get to all the other places, and it happens. You know, a lot of, like you said, the organic reposts that are happening on some of these sites or the organic picking up of some of these artists are happening because they did something at the crib that took them to where they was supposed to go, and then they ended up being picked up to do an interview or picked up to do a stream or picked up to do whatever. And then also when y'all come to these interviews and these streams, act right. That's the other thing too. A lot of people
the streamers and the media artists. People or the artists? Oh, okay.
I feel like that's another thing that's hurting a lot of artists is they're going to these interviews and they don't know what to do.
Yeah, they're not personable. They're not engaging.
But don't y'all remember how cool it was to be the rapper who don't answer no questions in interviews? That was a time before media was as popular. It was a time
who was it that just walked off Bootleg Kev shit?
That was EST, was it?
Yeah, I don't know. That shit ain't cool.
It was a time where it was cool for a nigga to sit there high and say yes and no to every question. Like before media, now it's like you have to have a personality because these people want to learn and know who you are.
You're selling yourself.
And that's
And labels have dropped artist development.
Yeah.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. They don't have artist development no more.
Yeah. And we're in a time now where I feel like consumers are in love with the human. We used to be in a time where you would listen to the music and then you would go figure out who the person was. Now we're in a time where they love you. They're buying into you. They're buying into what you're doing. If they fuck with who you are on Instagram and they laugh at your TikToks and they like all this stuff about you, they're going to support your music. That's where you get, which again, I'm breaking out of California, but that's where you get artists like a Queen Naija. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like Queen Naija was a huge YouTube personality that started making music, and these girls are flocking to her shows. And that's
I didn't know that
say,
she was a YouTuber first.
She was a couple YouTube. That was her whole thing.
It was her and her boo, right?
Yeah, and then they broke up.
She had a crazy breakup.
Yeah, and then she got with the other guy, and then they continued doing the couples YouTubing, sure. And then she started making music and
switching out your YouTube nigga is crazy.
I was like,
you see how I
always get another nigga.
That's the
like, and then they continued doing what they were doing, and then she made music. I tried to like switch,
she
unveiled
her nigga.
That's crazy.
She definitely re-unveiled the nigga. Like, hold on, I got this one now.
No, that's a crazy rollout right there.
But no, real shit though. Like, she's selling out tours.
Right.
They love her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not to mention, she makes great music.
Right.
So that's the thing. It's crazy. She's making real R&B. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. But it's like, with that being said, there's a whole fan base that she's reaching only because they loved who she was on YouTube. So it's like, we're at that place now where it's like, it's not just about the music anymore. People are buying into the artist, the human. They love you. They go out and support anything that you're doing. And so it's important to not be too cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's important to not take yourself too seriously. Yeah. Show us the bloopers. Yeah. Show us when you fuck up. Show us when you messing up in the studio. Show us when you fell down the stairs, or show us when you drive into the studio and you doing karaoke.
Humanize yourself just enough so that we can relate.
But do y'all think that there's a plus to the being discreet and the discretion? Somebody,
I think there's a certain level. Yeah, I don't think you should share. Personally, I don't think you should share everything. I think there's certain things that should not be for socials. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think you gotta keep some level of I don't think you gotta be like Frank Ocean or Andre 3000 or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. But I do think there's certain things that should kind of just be kept to yourself.
Yeah, and that's where I always say curate the candid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
Agree. Everything is not for this shit. We all know that. It's overrated. But there's a certain curation that can happen into where it is being displayed. Yeah. And we are getting to see a little bit more of who you are and what you have going on, because that makes me love your story even more. Right. You know, like I love to hear the stories of where you come from. Like Allie Cocaine. Yeah. Perfect example. Allie is I love Allie. Allie is very, very open about what's going on with her.
She be wilding on Twitter.
Yeah, she definitely be wilding on Twitter. Not to the point where we all in her business, but enough so to the point where we know what's going on with her, so it makes the music hit different. Yeah. It helps us understand a little bit more, like, damn, so for her to have done this, that meant this had to happen, and I fuck with it. Now, sis, I'm with whatever you got going on. You know, and I feel like that's a big thing. It's easier for women. It's not as easy for men. They're more proud. They don't want to open up. But at the same time, it's very important. Yeah. It's very important.
I think with some of the artists that I work with and the things that I've seen dope happen over the last couple of years is like figuring out ways to engage directly with your fans. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And turning that into social media content. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right? If you want to do a giveaway or a meet and greet, or All Black and DB on separate occasions did stuff with IBs in Berkeley. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where they were giving out fucking backpacks and sandwiches to college kids. Yeah. So boom, you doing something, you're engaging with your fans, they're all posting it. Right. They're all posting on their social media. You're posting the recap on yours, and that's something that you can seed and send to the blogs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can manufacture some of this content. Like, it doesn't have to just be something of you doing TikToks in the house or whatever. Yeah. Now granted, it takes a couple dollars and it might take some creativity on your team, but like, I'm all about experiential marketing.
Yeah.
I think that's so important to connect directly with the fans. Yeah. Even if you can't get booked for a show yet, fucking figure out like the clothing store that you go and buy all your fucking gear at, dog. See if they'll do a meet and greet for you or a giveaway or something. Raffle off some shoes.
That's another good
something.
point though too. That goes back to the initial question, which is what do we expect of media too? That is also something that's a great point. Media, it is our responsibility that when these artists are doing positive things, when they're doing good things, that's also getting posted.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's definitely the drama that fuels the fire, especially for NorCal. You know, NorCal is just this song. They dropped this. Oh, there's this shade. Oh, what do you think about? And it's like, that's cool, that's fine and dandy, but post that turkey drive. You know what I'm saying? Like, even out here, like, Baby Stones just did a turkey drive.
Bro, DB gave away, like, he paid for fucking 8 families Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And it's like, did we hear about that?
So, yeah.
A nigga giving out turkey is not going to make me want to go listen to his music. What's gonna make me want to go listen to that nigga music is seeing that
so fucking real.
Is taping phones up on the ceiling.
The bitches.
That's what's gonna make me go say, hold on.
That's a real nigga right there. I fuck with this nigga right here.
No, let me go play this whole album.
Yeah.
A nigga giving, thank you for giving back. Yeah. But a nigga giving out turkeys is just not gonna make me want to go listen to the music. Does that make me think he's a great person? Absolutely.
And I'll take that branding wise too.
You know what I'm saying? That makes me think.
But it's multiple things and not just that. But
yeah. That would make me think that you're giving out backpacks. You care about the community. I love it.
Cool. But does that shit slap?
Yeah.
But does that music slap?
Touche. I just think more with us. I think
bitches
it's the bitches twerking though.
Bitches taping their phones up to the ceiling. You cannot tell me that JID planned that.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that was planned and he knew that shit was gonna go up crazy like that.
Nah.
And when you listen to the song, it actually bang.
Yeah.
Nah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's funny as fuck.
It happens.
That's fucking funny as fuck. All right. I want to talk to y'all about false metrics, right? When I talk to people, everybody always says Spotify monthly listeners or YouTube views. I personally think that they're important, but I don't think that, like, I have this phrase where I say, yo, numbers don't lie, but they don't tell the whole truth. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all think those are false metrics? Do you think that we should be basing, or A&Rs and labels should be basing whether they sign an artist off of these metrics, like fucking monthly listeners and YouTube views? Should some of it be based off of if you're getting played in the clubs, if you're getting support outside, if you're getting organic support? Because a lot of shit seems to be analytics based, and I want to know what y'all thought about that.
If I need to guarantee a return on my investment, yes. I need to know that this artist is going to be able to make me back whatever we gave them. So I think the question is, who is it really important to? Because some niggas got all these numbers and stuff like that, and you probably really like, who's listening to this motherfucker? You see somebody trending on YouTube number 5, and you like, who's listening to this? How do this person? Every year, people drop these Spotify numbers.
Well, yeah, because you can cook the books, though. They got the streaming farms and all the bullshit, so I don't know if I even always believe that shit.
I don't always believe it.
Yeah.
I think it makes it look good.
Of course.
I think it's easy to make them, to sell them. You know, maybe they might need a feature or something like that. It's like, oh, well, I did this last year. This music performed this well, or whatever the case. But I think it's fake.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen artists who had more monthly listeners than D by the Bag not stream as much as him, or not be able to do any numbers on shows.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think monthly listeners is important, but I think what's more important is where those listeners are coming from, and how many monthly listeners or average listeners you have in a city at a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you got, let's say, 500,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, but somebody's out streaming you, that just means you have like maybe a feature or a casual fan, or you had a song that's doing well, but they're not a fan of you as an artist. You know what I'm saying? So I do think, to your point, Gina, yes, the numbers are important in terms of business, and want to make sure you have a return.
Impact.
Right.
It speaks to your impact.
Right.
If they're real though.
Right.
That's the thing. We don't know if they're real. I don't personally think that they're real. I think when Netflix say popular now with the movie, you just want me to go watch that motherfucker.
That is the fucking algorithm, and y'all trying to get a nigga to watch some shit that y'all paid hella money for.
You talking about recommended for who?
Yeah. I ain't never watched nothing like that. Yeah.
Now, when you get on your YouTube, all our YouTube algorithms do look different.
Yeah.
Because
YouTube's
it's based
changed a lot
off of
too.
Now I think that's real. That's based off of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
My algorithm is full with Scream 7. Because that's all I've been looking at is scream shit, you know?
Right.
So I do think that it is it's necessary. If it's real, it's necessary because it speaks to your impact. The labels need their money back. They need to know that they're making a great investment, you know? So
yeah, I feel you. I just, like I said, I don't think that the numbers always tell the whole story.
The truth, yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't lie, but they're not saying everything. Because it's like, you know, an artist I've had this in my personal experience. DB just fucking did 1,000 tickets in Santa Cruz. The amount of listeners he has in Santa Cruz is like 200 on average. So where are those listeners coming from?
They could be flying in though.
No, they're probably from the Bay Area or Northern California or other parts, and they go to school there.
Right.
But you have to know that in order to be able to decode that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like, even if LA's, let's say LA's your top market. LA's such a big fucking city. You can be doing 10,000 monthly listeners in LA or 20,000, but you're also competing with the fucking world.
Right.
You're competing with all the biggest artists in the world. So LA could be your top market, but you could only do 500 or 600 there.
Yeah.
Because it's just so tough. So I think like you got to pay attention to the market. I think it's just not as easy as just looking at how many views somebody has.
It's for sure not.
You know what I'm saying? I think people need to put some more time into it.
You have to realize that too. Different genres. This is going to sound crazy, but it's something that
sound crazy. That's what I'm here for.
Different genres have different How do I explain this? For example, I'm gonna just use this person as an example. NBA YoungBoy has hella YouTube views.
He's everything on YouTube.
Not as many streaming views. The reason that, or not as many streams, because the reason is like, and this, like I said, it's gonna sound crazy, it's gonna sound fucked up. Don't shoot me, y'all. But a lot of his audience does not pay for a streaming platform.
Talk about it.
So
I'm so glad you said that.
There are some people that like the hood. YouTube got the hood.
YouTube is the streets.
YouTube got the hood.
YouTube is for show the streets.
Because it's free. You feel what I'm saying? So certain artists, you're not going to be able to judge their Apple Music, their Spotify, their Tidal, because their demographic just does not pay for a streaming platform.
And Apple don't promote the numbers the way all these other motherfuckers do. But to me, if an artist is streaming well on Apple Music, he's gonna do numbers on shows. 100. In my world, the things that I look at, I look at a nigga's Apple, because it's like, okay, well, I got it. That means they have iPhones.
Right.
They're paying that monthly subscription. They're paying that extra $10 or $20 to make sure that they're able to get that music. That motherfucker's going to spend $20 for a ticket. 100%.
That's why I'm like, it's very subjective. Like it's the same thing, y'all. We're all saying the same thing, just three different versions of it.
Perspective,
because it's just all different things. Like I've very much been paying super attention to that lately. It's been very interesting to me to know the YouTube versus streaming platform argument, like, because DSPs are all paid into. You have to buy into it. That's just like asking somebody, oh, did you see this on Netflix? I don't have Netflix. Okay, so that's why you didn't watch it. Your number is never going to count now because you got to wait till it's somewhere else. That's the gag with a lot of artists from the street, especially NorCal. Their demographic just does not listen to streaming platforms, so you cannot find their algorithm. I got people all the time.
They're like, yeah, so-and-so's popping. He has this many views on. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I look at his fucking numbers, and it's like, he got a song that's popping on YouTube, but he ain't,
and
I don't know if he's really popping.
YouTube is where you really got to look for certain artists, especially up there with us, because that's just their demographic. I'm like, I hate to say it like that, but it's just the reality of it. They walking around with the Metro phone. It may not even have apps sometimes.
Niggas still got Metro phones?
Sometimes, yeah.
For real?
You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's okay. That's okay.
We're not hating on the Metro phones if you got the
bubble is crazy.
it's definitely a green bubble. And that's why I'm like, you can't necessarily sometimes judge that, because there are people that are just, there's the kids that just, even if you go to certain times, like I done been at a house where they'll just throw on YouTube and let it run.
And let it run. Young niggas is doing that all the time.
I hate them houses.
I hate those houses. Damn, I hate them.
I damn near be at them houses.
You know what them houses is. We know what them houses is. But look. Chill out.
Oh, we
not blowing up the spot. Yeah, they
can't
cover give the mic right here, dog. The fuck, niggas is crazy.
I mean, what happened was.
Now, but what do y'all think about? Because YouTube's changed its algorithm and all the shit. So what do you think about the ads now? I used to look down on them, right? I used to think niggas was paying for views. I thought that was corny. But now, YouTube got to get their money. right? All these platforms have to get their money. We talk about Spotify Marquee. We talk about fucking Apple Music. We talk about fucking YouTube. In terms of paying to get visibility, same thing with a media platform, damn near. What do y'all think about YouTube's change and paid ads?
Go ahead, Gina.
You can't avoid the ads.
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
I don't know. I guess everybody thought
it.
since we wasn't watching TV no more that you could avoid commercials, but ads is just freaking commercials.
It is.
It's the same thing. They playing them on the radio. They on my My Days app. Mm-hmm. They want me to download
My Days
the
app.
gym. Y'all know the little gym game, the little gyms,
No,
the bingo. It's like a little bingo game.
Monopoly Go.
Yeah. So we're not going to ever be able to escape ads because these corporations need their paper.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they are changing with the times. Tubi got ads.
Mm-hmm.
As free as it sounds,
That's
Tubi
so
got
sad.
ads. If you don't want to watch no commercials or hear no ads, get on Netflix. And I don't know what it is for music, but
yeah,
Pandora got ads. Like
Everything.
people need to get their paper, and they're literally changing with the time. There's as much as evolution that we have within the hip hop community, music in general, streaming, whatever. The companies are coming with us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Walmart is going to be in the middle of a Lil Wayne video.
For sure.
Like that's just what it is.
So artists should not be skeptical or afraid or hesitant to pay for ads.
And that's where I was gonna go with it.
Wait, what do you mean by that? What the artists paying for ads?
Because they feel there are a lot of artists that feel like they shouldn't have to pay for like
advertising or YouTube ads.
Sponsoring on like Instagram or like paying for a YouTube ad or whatever the case is.
Now that's just stupid.
And that's what I was gonna say. If you
comes from a lack of knowledge.
if
though.
you would want to see yourself, it does yes and no because it's just coming along.
Motherfuckers don't understand that like all the commercials that are on the Super Bowl are paid for.
Yeah.
Niggas don't understand that every fucking commercial advertisement, somebody paid a bag to have that there.
That's why it's the best commercial of that year from that company.
Right. They put so much money into that shit. And it's the same thing with these media platforms. It's like, look,
Fashion Nova, you see all these rap platforms
for sure
posting Drea with her ass out.
But it's like you see an artist get 10,000 likes on a page, right? And you know he didn't have to pay for that post. But you're an up and coming artist that don't got no type of motion or whatever, and you want to get placement right next to that nigga. It's fucking real estate, dog. You might have to pay $100 for that or $200 for that, and it's worth it, especially if your music's good and you're trying to get some type of visibility.
And that's
niggas shouldn't be afraid of that.
If you would have ever wanted to see yourself on a billboard, you should have no problem with paying for an ad.
Talk about it.
Because it's the same pocket. It's the same.
No,
budget.
it's the same thing.
It's the same budget. It's marketing budget. Paying for all of that. Even to go as far as to say paying to get your songs put on these blogs. If that's the case. It's unfortunate sometimes. It don't feel good doing it, but it's the same budget. It's marketing budget.
You niggas gonna pay for a Miri and all the bullshit. You gonna pay for the chains. Pay for some fucking advertising, dog. You pay for some advertising, bro. It's okay.
You have to go to where the traffic is.
Yeah.
You gotta go to where the traffic is, and you have to pay for that. That's why we seeing, like I just said, Fashion Nova on the Shade Room, Baller Alert, on all these rap platforms. You see Fashion Nova.
Yeah.
They are paying for people to see that because that's where the traffic is.
Yeah.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag ad.
And on the flip side, I think the artists that have a good amount of engagements on their page, they're setting themselves up to get paid to be brand ambassadors for these companies.
Yeah.
And so there's a other side of it. It's like you can't not want to pay for advertisement, but want to get paid.
It makes money to take money. Or it takes money to make money.
I was gonna correct you, but you
I
didn't
got
cut.
I was
No.
what you was putting
You
down.
feel me?
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, all right. So we done got to that part of the show where we talk about, you know, our favorite albums, projects, fucking artists, and all of that from 2023, and who we're looking forward to checking for in 2024. So for y'all, what were your top West Coast albums of 2023?
Cal Banks dropped an amazing project. He's an R&B singer. Bino and Blast dropped 6tape3, which was highly anticipated.
Very.
My favorite, and it just came out literally Reason also dropped.
Yes.
Dropped an amazing project.
Shout out to Reason.
But my favorite this year to come out, and
favorite album?
just came out. I don't even know if it's an album.
Okay.
But I think it only got like 4 or 5 songs. Caitlyn just dropped a project. That's cool.
Oh, the EP.
Crazy.
Yeah, he has some joints on there. He got some joints on there for sure.
Oh my! They let a singing nigga come out rap them.
Caitlyn
went crazy.
He definitely said he was gonna out rap He said he was gonna rap on this project.
He did. How you think my name for real and I ain't serious?
Nah, Kaylin go crazy. Kaylin go crazy. I want to see. Kaylin's fire.
Kaylin, oh my god! But that's definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Kay?
I would have to say, so Raj had a really good
California
project.
Poppy 3?
Yeah. Raj is gonna bring you to tears every time I'm gonna tell you about yourself.
Raj making me sad. Raj making me sad sometimes.
It's therapy. It's therapy though.
Super talented.
I was a huge fan of the EBK movement.
Okay.
I was a huge fan of the EBK movement. Also, this is going to sound like it's just happening because I'm right here, but on